A suspect in the deadly attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi has now been freed from custody. His release means there are no other known suspects being held in connection with the attack. Let's bring in Brian Todd. He's got the details. What are they, Brian?
Well, Wolf, the suspect had been held by authorities in Tunisia. He was just ordered to be released. We have been pressing Tunisian officials on why they've set him free. We've gotten no answers yet. This is clearly a major setback in the Benghazi investigation. He was held for 3 months, a suspect in connection with the Benghazi attack that killed the U.S. ambassador to Libya and 3 others. Now, Ali Ani al-Harzi, a Tunisian, is a free man. The Tunisian government news agency says Harzi's been released from custody there. Congressman Frank Wolf, influential in the release of foreign aid, has been keeping track of the Harzi case for months. Your response to this?
Well, I'm disappointed. One, he was involved in the attack of the American consulate in Benghazi. He was there. So he's really partially responsible for the death of 4 Americans. Secondly, we give the Tunisian government $320 million a year of foreign aid.
Will you now press for some withholding of that aid?
We're asking that the State Department cut it off, and if they don't cut it off, sure, I will certainly do that, because here they have released a guy to walk the streets of Tunisia, has been involved in the activity that's resulted in the death of 4 Americans.
Wolf had previously complained that the FBI had, for months, been denied access to Harzi. The FBI did finally question him last month, but in the presence of a Tunisian judge. We asked former FBI Assistant Director Tom Fuentes, a CNN contributor, whether that compromised the interrogation.
Well, it does have an effect, but in the first instance, a judge in other countries isn't the same as a judge in the United States. Judges here are not involved in the investigation.
Fuentes says just the fact that FBI agents were allowed to ask questions is more than they often get in these cases. Some reports say Harzi was freed because of a lack of evidence. We pressed Tunisian authorities in Tunis and here in Washington for more information on the release of Ali Harzi and for response to the threat from Congressman Wolf to press for a cutoff of aid to Tunisia. We've gotten no response. A U.S. official says American investigators were made aware of Harzi because he apparently posted details of the Benghazi attack on social media while it was happening. But a U.S. law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation says Ali Harzi does not appear on the video from the Benghazi compound. Harzi's attorney has denied he was involved, but his release means there are no suspects known to be in custody in connection with the attack. Will Americans ever see justice for Benghazi?
That's a very difficult order in a case like this where there was so much chaos surrounding the actual attack itself, the nature of the attack, the nature of the people that conducted the attack, and the fact that it was conducted in a place that really didn't have and still does not have a strong investigative partner for the FBI to work with.
But our law enforcement source says investigators have identified at least 15 individuals that, quote, we're taking a serious look at. That from our source. Our source also says that ultimately people will be indicted, Wolf. Waiting on that.
Well, what about these reports that one individual was taken into custody in connection with the Benghazi attack in Egypt?
That's right. There was one person. Name is Mohammed Jamal Abu Ahmed. U.S. officials believe he's the leader of a terror network in Egypt trying to align with al-Qaeda. They are examining whether he participated in the attack. He was detained last month by Egyptian authorities. They say that he admitted that he traveled to Libya several times during the civil war, but he has denied any connection to the Benghazi attack. So right now, nobody in custody that we know for sure was involved in that attack. Frustrating for U.S. officials.
So he was detained. Is he still being held?
Not clear whether he's still being held. We're trying to get that information now. But right now, it looks like there's nobody in custody that we're sure was involved, at least is a suspect in that attack. Yeah. And it's very frustrating.
A lot of work to do to bring those folks to justice.
That's right.
Brian, thanks very much. Lawmakers here.